morning, students and viewers. My name is Praveen, and another important topic that we are going to discuss here is WTO, World Trade Organization. Trade is crucial for economic prosperity. We have Silk Route trade in the ancient history, right? So world trade means this global economy. In global economy, there are different countries, many countries. Every country has different type of political setup and they have different economic policies. But they all want to have trade so that their economy will grow, they will prosper. All they want is prosperity. WTO, it is very much in use these days because of tariff wars. Tariff wars or trade weaponization. Some countries use trade as a weapon to ensure that some countries follow their norms as per their interest. If you see, in yesterday also, there are some issues between Canada and USA, China and USA, and even India and USA. USA wants to impose tariffs, stating that the policies followed by these partner countries are very much disadvantage to the economy of US. So he is not sparing allies or non-allies or WTO members per se. This World Trade Organization, it is set up to ensure that the trade happens in a free and fair environment. The topic we are going to discuss here is how WTO can play a crucial role in mitigating these type of tariff wars. Is it relevant still? As a WTO, is it still relevant? Because Trump is imposing tariffs whatever the way he wants to on different countries, and countries also responding with their own tariffs. So we will discuss relevance of WTO in the current economic conditions or current tariff wars. Let us start from the first step. What is a tariff? We will define tariff also. Tariff is nothing but it is an import duty that is imposed by a country on the product that is being imported into their country. Why do they impose tariffs? They want to protect their own local industries. They want to give advantage to products produced in their market. So they want to, to protect their market, they use tariffs. But it will hurt, because if your product is somewhat not so efficient, and if you still want to use that, it will impact your economy only. And what we are calling today is globalization. It is because of this open trade between all these countries. So this humanization or one village concept or Vasudhaiva Kutumbam all depends on this trade, and trade is somewhat blocked by, or it is impacted by these tariffs. So tariffs are import duties. So these tariffs they use can be used selectively. If you go back to history, UK, England was imposing heavy duties on our textile products during 18th and 19th century, and our economy was crushed by this tariff. So the tariff wars also caused Great Depression in 1929. So they have such impact. So after Second World War, they created an organization called ITO, International Trade Organization, which did not play a crucial role. It did not have any impact. So in 1995, all the countries, after many consultations, came together and formed this World Trade Organization. And this is headquartered in Geneva. And through an agreement, they formed this in year of 1995. The predecessor was GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trades. So there was GATT till 1994, and there is another GATT in 1995. It is one of the founding agreements for WTO. And another agreement in the WTO is like General Agreement on Trade on Services. Another is TRIPS, Trade Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights. These are the basic agreements every member country agreed upon, and they are legally binding on all member countries. So this WTO formed to ensure that there is a free and fair trade. So what are the objectives of this WTO? The objectives are free and fair trade. Fair means rule based, and fair competition, and dispute resolution mechanism, and assisting the development of developing countries. It is very much crucial in formation of WTO organization, assistance to developing countries for development. These are the major objectives for WTO. So far everything is okay, right? USA is the leading economy, then China, then some other countries. So why suddenly these tariff wars are coming? And actually, what are the principles that ensures this free and fair trade? They have three principles. This WTO has three principles to ensure free and fair trade. One is principle of reciprocity. That means one country reduces import tariff on one country, then the country which is benefited should also reduce the tariff on the benefit given country. Second principle is most favored nation. So if you are treating one country with some benefits, you have to treat other partners, trade partners as well also with same benefits. So MFN means most favored nations. There should not be any favored nation at all. You should treat all. There are some exceptions to this principle for the benefit of trade. And third is national treatment. Once any foreign product imported into any country, it should be treated as domestic product. So they should give the national treatment. They should not discriminate. So these are the principles. So this is how they are ensuring free and fair trade. USA has some problems with these principles, and India has some problems with these principles. And some other developing countries also have some problems. So we'll discuss first about USA. What are the limitations or USA's objections with respect to WTO governance? We said there are rules and regulations to ensure free and fair trade through WTO. But everyone is claiming that they are being treated unfairly. And the largest economy is itself stating that. USA is saying that many nations are imposing heavy tariffs on their products. For example, about India, they are saying we are imposing heavily on their automobiles like Harley Davidson and the wine. So they are having huge trade deficit with many countries. So USA wants to reduce its trade deficit. It wants to revive its economy, revive its manufacturing sector. So it wants to give advantages to its goods. How? If they have good market access, means if they have less tariffs, if they are facing less tariffs in other foreign countries, they will have better market access. They will have advantage for their products, and they can revive their economy. So they want to reduce their trade deficits, and they are saying these trade deficits are because of lack of reciprocity from the partner countries. They are saying we are charging 100% tariff on automobile sector, 150% on different products. USA is having objections because of heavy trade deficits with many of the countries. And second is with the definition of developing countries. USA claim is that China is a 10 trillion economy, second biggest economy. Why WTO is providing preferential treatment as a developing country? What kind of benefits a developing country can have in WTO? Why USA is critical about this definition of developing country status to USA, to China or India? We discussed that WTO also has a role in assisting the development of developing nations. So in the formation of WTO, they provided some peace clauses or preferential treatment to developing countries. So during this GATT 1995, when they agreed for this trade agreement, it stated that every country should have bounded tariffs. Means they should bring all their goods that are being manufactured or being traded, being part of trade. They should come under one basket. Everything should come under that policy, and they should have a maximum limit of this tariff, how much they can impose. When they made this agreement 1995, almost 99% of products made by developed countries are brought under this bounded tariff levels, whereas in developing countries only 72% of products manufactured by developing countries are under this bounded tariffs. So rest of the goods that are produced by developing countries, they will not follow this bounded tariff. That means some product, if it is manufactured by USA and it is not part of this list, they will impose tariffs to protect their own market. They have that flexibility. WTO gives that flexibility to developing countries. So these are called bounded tariffs. Developing countries have this flexibility for imposing tariffs. Similarly, for any principle to, if there is any agreement made, the developing countries will have more time to comply with the law. Like we have one agreement called Agreement on Agriculture. In that there is a called amber box. We provide subsidy to some of the agriculture products, right? So for them, we have to reduce those subsidy levels. WTO agrees for 10% of total value. If you produce 1,000 rupees worth agriculture products, out of this, up to 10%, like 100 rupees, subsidy provided by government is allowed as per WTO norms. Whereas for developed countries, only 5%. And this is limited up to for certain years only. So whereas for developed countries, to follow this subsidy provision, they are given only 5 years of time. But for developing countries, it is still a green clause. So these are some of the provisions, preferential treatment given to developing countries. So these are the advantages for a developing country. So USA is saying that because of this preferential treatment to developing countries, USA is losing trade or advantage. So another question arises here, can be called a developing country? Is there any mechanism in WTO for to be called as a developing country? So no, there is no mechanism. Every country on their own, they can announce that they are a developing country. So by simple majority, all countries have to agree. If WTO members agree by simple majority that it is a developing country, they will be treated as developing country. So there is no mechanism to choose developing country. They announce themselves as a developing country. So they receive these benefits. So USA is critical about this norm. And these developing countries or least developed countries, they object this critic by saying that, see the per capita income levels, not the whole economy levels. Based on that only we can define a developing country. So these are the main objections raised by USA. During his first term, President Trump started a tariff war with China in 2019. There was also, in the 5 years back also, there was a tariff war. At that time also, there was a dispute at WTO, China-USA dispute. And there are some disputes with India as well. And India, European Union also has a WTO disputes. But all these disputes are being handled well by this dispute settlement mechanism. So everyone was confident about this WTO. WTO is better because of previous versions, because of its strong dispute resolution mechanism.